Hi, Jacq Hackett here. It's been another busy week in the world of solo consulting. This week, one of the things I've been doing is planning for some stakeholder workshops. I have a couple of projects that involve a series of stakeholder workshops, large forums with potentially 60 to 80 people in each of them. And I've been working with clients this week to plan those workshops. Now, running large stakeholder workshops is not something you'd have to do every day as a consultant, but it certainly is something you will get asked to do from time to time. And it's not easy, it's tricky, it's a tricky part of the consulting role. In my Solo Consultant Masterclass program, I have a whole module devoted to this subject because it is tricky and there's a lot to it. But today I thought I would give you 3 tips that might help you get on the right track with this if this is something that you have to do. And the first tip is don't underestimate the time it's going to take you to plan the workshops. Make sure you really do build in enough time in your quote to do this, because generally those workshops are going to be about complex issues and they're going to have a very specific outcome or series of outcomes that you need to get out of them. So you need to plan them very carefully in order to achieve that. So, for example, one of the series of workshops that I'm doing is to consult with, a broad range of stakeholders to get agreement about major policy change in a health area. So it's not simple. You really need to spend the time planning it to make sure it's going to deliver what you need. The second tip is work out your timings in detail. Now, we've all been to workshops where they've run over and it can be very frustrating, and often one of the culprits for that is not having spent the time planning the timings in detail beforehand. Now, I know it can seem obvious, but a place that lots of people get tripped up is this. So let me give you an example. So in one of these workshops, I've got 60 people. They're going to be working in table groups for some of that, and then they're going to be giving feedback to the larger plenary session. Now, if I've got 8 tables and they're all going to be giving me feedback, I need to work out that I'm going to allow them 5 minutes per table. That's 40 minutes just for the feedback session. And it's an area that people get really tripped up on when they just think, oh, well, we'll give that 20 minutes. Don't skip over it. Work it out in detail. It's finicky. It can be a tedious task to do, but it's really going to stand you in good stead to make sure that the timings of your workshop are actually worked out properly. And the third tip I have for you is that if you are not an experienced and very, very good facilitator of large workshops like those sort of forums, then don't be tempted to just do it yourself. Work with a co-facilitator. Find a really good facilitator who you can subcontract in to assist you with that part of the job. Don't be tempted to just think, oh, it'll be fine. It's that tricky. This is a specific skill set that you'll need. Now, the great thing is about getting a co-facilitator in is, they can take on, a lot of the facilitation and do a really good job for your client. But also you can learn from them. So if you take a co-facilitation role, it's a great thing. You can get a bit of mentoring and teaching and learning from someone who's really good at that and slowly build your own skills up over time so that you can run them yourself. So I hope those tips are helpful. Running big stakeholder workshops is never easy, but they can be very, very effective if done well. And I hope you have a great Friday.